everyone, so I've got a bit of a different video today because this is going to be nothing beauty related at all. And I was originally going to put this just on my vlog channel, which is the 72 Confessions, which I'll link below. I was originally just going to put it on that channel, but then I thought that this video would be useful for a lot of people that aren't subscribed to that channel. So then I thought I'd upload it onto my beauty channel as well. So if you're subscribed to both my channels and you see this pop up twice, that's why. But yeah, this isn't beauty related at all because this is going to be all about revision and studying and kind of how to get yourself motivated and organised. I really need to start getting myself organised now, so I thought I'd make this video for you because I've had a lot of requests for a video like this, and I thought it would motivate myself as I go along. So I've kind of made a list of things that I think are really key at kind of getting yourself motivated to do your work, and just things to help kind of organise yourself so that you're ready to sit down and do your work. Right, so one of the things that I think is probably most important is making a to-do list. I know a lot of people don't like doing this, but I think it just really organises your time and sets out tasks of what you need to get done. But then one thing I would say about a to-do list is don't cram absolutely everything into your to-do list and make it like 5 pages long, because that's going to really dishearten you and just make you not want to do it because you're going to see how much you have to get done and it's just going to be a bit of a train wreck. So what I like to do is do little mini to-do lists, like I have one here which I'm just about to do. This is for my philosophy revision, which I have to do now. And I've just put 3 main items that I want to focus on. And then once I've completed these 3, I'll add onto the to-do list and add in more and just kind of go that way, because it makes you feel like you've accomplished it when you get that done, and then you can add some more, and I think it just makes you feel a bit better about yourself. Another thing I also see a lot of people doing is they make timetables where they'll schedule all their day and they'll put times like 10 AM to 11 AM I'm doing this, then I'll have a break, then I'll do this, and I used to do that as well. I was guilty of doing that, but I think that's just a really bad idea. I found for me that writing specific times, it made me feel like I didn't really have a choice of what I was doing, even though I'd planned out my timetable myself. It just made me feel a bit restricted, and I don't like that. It kind of seems like your timetable's nagging at you a bit and just is telling you what to do. And I think that almost works as a bit of reverse psychology, and then it makes you want to kind of sway from your timetable. But for some people, obviously, writing times does work out really well. It helps you plan your day, but I found it doesn't really work for me. And that actually leads me on to my next point, which is to be realistic. Now that's one thing where writing specific times on a timetable comes in really handy, because it gives you a set amount of time where you have to do your work. But then again, it also can make people say, right, I'll work for a solid 2 hours, then have an hour break, then I'll do another 2 hours work, and so on for the whole day. But you should bear in mind that the human brain can't actually really concentrate after a 45-minute period. So you shouldn't try and go any further than that in one sitting of revision without having a break. So you need to be realistic about how much time you're going to spend sitting down revising, and then how much time you're going to have of a break. I'd say probably have a 5 to 10 minute break in between every 45-minute session. And also, when you are having your break, don't do anything like watching TV. I know it's hard not to because the TV is just there and you can easily switch it on and find a program you want to watch, but that will just get you into the mood set of not wanting to go back to your work. So I'd say in your break, maybe do something like, maybe if it's a nice day, go outside in your garden, just kind of have a bit of a walk around, take in some deep breaths, have a bit of a stretch. I know it's not very fun, but I mean, you could always put the radio on and just kind of go chill out for a bit. Or you could even go and just have a chat with like one of your family members, even like a sibling or a parent. Just go and have a chat with them and just chill out a bit. But don't start anything that you know will take longer than 10 minutes, basically, that's what I'm saying, because you will never be able to motivate yourself to go back to your work otherwise. Okay, so my 4th point is to keep distractions to a minimum. And by that I mean, if in your workspace you have, let's say, a computer, if you don't need the computer for your work, try and just have it turned off, maybe move the keyboard and the mouse out of the way, just so you're not tempted to turn it on and go flicking through Facebook or anything like that. And then also with something like your mobile phone, what I tend to do is put it in a completely different room, just so that I'm not even tempted to look at it. I mean, if I have it on me, it will distract me so much. I just prefer to keep it in a different room just for the period that I'm going to be revising for. Another really important one is you want to organise the space that you're going to work in. So if you have a desk, you want to clear it as much as you can. I'd say rather than just pushing things to the side of the desk, actually put it away, because for me, if I just push everything to one side so it's out of the way, it really aggravates me because it's just a kind of pile of mess just there and it doesn't feel like I can properly get into my work. So I just try and put everything away as quickly as I can. I leave out some pens, some paper, and then my revision notes. You also want to make sure you have good lighting there. So you can even get a little lamp. I have a little lamp on my desk which I use when I'm doing proper work. I'd also say that if you can, open a window, because the fresh air is just going to make the room a lot less stuffy, and so that'll help you concentrate a bit more. But one point I would make, when you're organising your space, don't turn it into a big clear up job where you try and clear up your entire room, because that is just going to be you wasting time. I'm guilty of doing that. I normally do that a lot, where I just say that I have to clean up my entire room and it'll take me like 4 hours and then I won't have any time to revise. So you don't want to procrastinate, you just want to clear it up as quick as you can and then just get on with it and get it done. The next point I would say is get provisions, and by provisions I mean food and water, because no doubt during the time that you've laid out to do your revision you're going to get either hungry or thirsty, so it's better just to have it there with you before you start, because that means you don't have to interrupt your studying to go and get food and stuff like that. And for food, I'd steer clear of anything that's carbs, just because they make you feel really sluggish and tired. I normally tend to go for fruit. I just get a selection of fruit and cut it all up and leave it on a plate. Because not only is that going to taste good and be very good for you, it's also good for your brain. And I also find that the kind of fresh flavours of the fruit keep me more alert. But I mean, you can snack on anything you want really, but that's just something I'd recommend. And then my final and probably most important point I would say is identify your learning style. And by learning style I mean you can take tests online which will tell you what type of learner you are. So you may be a visual learner, auditory learner, or a kinesthetic learner. If you don't know what they are, I'm going to put loads of information about that in the info bar below, because I found a really good website that tells you all about it. It'll give you typical characteristics of what a visual, auditory or kinesthetic learner may be. And it also gives you learning suggestions for each type, so how you learn best typically, which will help you find a way of revising. So you can go and read about that below and kind of try and determine which learner you think you are. And if not, I'll link a quiz where you can take the quiz and it should tell you what type of learner you are. And I think that finding out that really helps, because I found that I'm a mixture of visual and auditory learner. And so it's told me the best ways for me to learn is to make notes or lists, watch videos, colour code things, use flashcards, or use highlighters in my work, because that's all a visual way of remembering things. And because I'm also a bit auditory as well, it also suggests that I might want to use word association to try and remember facts or things like that. Or I might want to watch more videos, which again corresponds with the visual. And it also suggests things like taping my notes after I've written them. So after I've written them all out, maybe record them and play them back to myself. And it's also like that, it does it for all three types of learner. And I definitely recommend finding out which type of learning style you prefer, because for all you know, you could be using a learning style that doesn't actually work with the type of learner you are. So you could be a kinesthetic learner, but you may just be writing out your revision notes, which may actually not help you remember it as much as it would be to say, do something practical. So yeah, I'll link everything as I said below, all to do with that. And you can go read about all the different types of learner styles. And I really hope this helped you out. And definitely let me know what you think in the comments below, and I shall see you soon.